So here I am at work early, a little concerned about my cousin, my mother and I's cousin. That's a long story for later, but I am now pushing to avoid assuming anything too soon, because it could be anything at this point, given my old history of how I used to make others perceive me, or should I say, influence others into perceiving me, given that we continuously do so. You know the drill. Pardon my pauses, but it seems to want to be pushing through that worst possible case. And I'm pushing back, going, no, let's not automatically assume that. Otherwise, we could potentially do something that could cause it to come true. After all, it is said that our actions and behaviors are natural byproducts of whatever it is. Not only that we assume, but there are other factors like upbringing, culture, etc., etc. But that's another ball of wax for later. It could just be part of the old self purge, for all we know. Hopefully my cousin will check back soon, and I do sure hope she's okay. And I guess that's all for today. I'll probably check back tomorrow or the next day. You know how things go around here. I just thought I'd check in before the next shift real quick. I forgot what train of thought I was even on before the fucking first shift. I may have to even rewatch that clip so I remember what I was talking about and where I left off. Perhaps it'll come to me later tonight. We'll see. Wasn't sure what I was going to talk about earlier, but all I have on is just a bit of eyeshadow stick smudged all over, some liner, mascara, boom, to have on a little something, just to switch it up. Oftentimes I don't have the spoons for much in the morning. I'm lucky to have the spoons for tea or coffee, quite frankly. Hopefully even my cycle will get back to normal. Yes, if you're a woman, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm mainly targeting biological cis women. You know, born women. But, yeah. Stress can do that to you, as we all know. There's a lot I gotta write down even in my calendar to ensure that I remember certain important things, so I can keep some degree of normalcy in the midst of all that mess. I'm betting there's still even more photos that my mother and I took. Even more. So I'm still looking to get that arranged after I figure out a date. Get everything arranged ahead of time, and quite frankly would prefer late morning, early afternoon. 11 a.m. or something like that. What else was I gonna share? that's small but to the point. Besides looking at other things besides the mobile nail and skincare thing to get into next year after the holidays. And speaking of after the holidays, I gotta check in for updates on the driving matter so that I can reach the other goal of getting my license before the holidays this year, since I promised myself I would. So I better address that before I forget, and I'll be back whenever I can. Well, we made it. We were teetering on the edge until finally it was time. But I'm gonna have to catch up on some rest. There are other details I gotta iron out, because there's still a good few loose ends to tie with this. But my mother, even though she left her body, has never left in spirit. She's made that very clear too. She did give a couple messages. Telling me regarding a good friend of mine and one of my partners. Well, I guess I better be prepared for them. That being said, that's better. You see the moon? The camera may not, I don't think the camera's picking it up very good, but the waxing harvest moon, I believe. Look at it. Can you see its orange glow? It can mean anything, of course. But they say signs always come afterwards. After you decide something's yours, of course. Generally, as I've gathered. But that's a story for later. Well, it's always a story for later. Who are we kidding? Shit. There's the golden moon. I think you can see the ring that it's that harvest yellow gold color. I would prefer that this camera had a way to turn it around without having to stop the clip first. That would be great.
Right.